Hello everyone, Team09 here on the No Limit YouTube channel page for this week's Tech Doctor segment. This week we are going to be covering DarkAngel9779's X-Saber deck. But before we do, Robbie's going to be going to Philly this weekend, so for those of you who care, wish him good luck. Not sure like what all he has exactly planned. I know he's planning on hanging out with a bunch of the guys as well, but I know as much as the fact that he's actually going to play, so I mean, if you really cared, wish him luck. And to everyone else that's going, I also would like to wish luck to all of you as well. Shame I can't really be there. Don't really have a ride or whatever, so whatever. And besides, if I was going, I probably wouldn't be making this video for anyone, so whatever. Anyways, so yeah, like I said, we're going to be doing DarkAngel9779's X-Saber deck. This is a deck that I've always thought has had a lot of potential, something that I wish would see a little bit more play to. It's one of my favorite archetypes, and you know, if you're basing things off of personal preference or whatever, back when this deck was really good, I tried to play it. It was a bit expensive, but I used to play it online a lot, and I used to win with it quite a lot. So, I mean, it's just something that I kind of wish still saw play. I'm kind of fucking up my sentences here for some reason. Whatever. Anyways, let's just get into his build, then we'll get into the fixed build and all that other happy crap. Starting off with the monsters, we have 3 Fall Troll, 3 Bogart Knight, 2 Reborn Tengu, 1 Brotherhood of the Fire Spare, 1 X-Saber Airbellum, 3 X-Saber Full Helm Knights, 2 X-Saber Embers Blades, 3 X-Saber Dark Soul, 1 TG Striker, and 2 X-Saber Pashul. Spells, we have 1 Dark Hole, 3 Mystical Space Typhoon, 1 Book of Moon, and 3 Fire Formation Tenki. Traps, we have 3 Gundam's Emergency Call, 1 Bottomless Trap Hole, 2 Mirror Force, 1 Torrential Tribute, 2 Dimensional Prisons, 1 Compulsory Evacuation Device, and 1 Solemn Warning. Extra deck, we have 1 X-Saber Gundams, 1 Mistworm, 1 Crimson Blader, 1 Scrap Dragon, 1 X-Saber Souza, 1 Black Rose Dragon, 1 Gaia Knight, the Force of Earth, 1 Naturia Barkion, 2 X-Saber Hyunlei, 1 Armadas, Keeper of Boundaries, 1 Naturia Beast, 1 Brother of the Fire Fist Tiger King, 1 number 101 Silent Honor Arc, and 1 Evil Swarm Exciting Knight. So yeah, just go right into the fixed build. And we'll just, like I said, we're going to go over the build and then we'll get into the fixes. I'm going to try and do this as fast as possible. I don't really like making videos longer than 15 minutes, and I know the last one was longer than that. So I'm going to try and not do that this time. So yeah, starting off with monsters, we have 1 Redux, Dragon Lord Boulders, 2 X-Saber Fall Troll, 2 X-Saber Bogart Knight, 3 X-Saber Full Helm Knight, 3 X-Saber Embers Blades, 2 Crane, 3 X-Saber Dark Soul, 2 Max C, and 2 X-Saber Pashul. Spells, we have 1 Reinforcement of the Army, 1 Dark Hole, 2 Pot of Duality, 2 Mystical Space Typhoon, 1 Book of Moon, 2 Forbidden Lance, and a enemy controller. For traps, we have 1 Gundam's Emergency Call, 1 Bottomless Trap Hole, 1 Torrential Tribute, 2 Dimensional Prisons, 2 Breakthrough Skills, 1 Compulsory Evacuation Device, 1 Saber Hole, and 1 Solemn Warning. Excuse me. Extra deck, we have 1 Leo, the Keeper of the Sacred Tree, 1 Scrap Dragon, 1 Colossal Fighter, 1 X-Saber Souza, 1 Naturia Barkion, 2 X-Saber Hyunlei, 1 Armadas, Keeper of the Boundaries, 1 Naturia Beast, 1 LHS Catastor, 1 Silent Honor Arc. Yeah, it kind of jumbled all together at the very last second there, whatever. Anyways, 1 number 101, 1 Evil Swarm Exciting Knight, 1 Soul of Silver Mountain, 1 Ghost Trick Value card, and 1 Absent Mains. So, I kind of want to point out a few things before we even actually address a lot of the things. There's a few things that I've actually considered going back and forth with playing, so I'm going to kind of cover them first. First off is Gundam Emergency Call. We just recently got Dragon's Legend, obviously, so Soul Charge is the thing. I'm kind of still testing back and forth between the two, so, I mean, if you want, you can always drop the E-Call for a Soul Charge if you think it'd be better to make a Beast Barkion play somehow in your turn, or, you know, something like that. Otherwise, like, it's kind of good as a defensive card as well, which is part of the reason why you see it in the fixed build still. But Soul Charge is also kind of good for just making a Beast Barkion on your turn if you happen to have the setup for it, or by setup I mean the graveyard setup for it. You know. The other thing that I was kind of working with was this. I was considering maining like 1, maybe even 2 Blackhorns when I was like testing around and fixing it up. Blackhorn worked kind of good, but at the same time, Saber Hole is very similar to it in the sense that it negates a summon, or like an inherent kind of thing. Basically, I decided to try out Saber Hole because it also negates the whole normal summon, flip summon, as well as the extra deck summons and crap like that. They both kind of have their own little drawback in the sense that when it comes to Blackhorn, it has to be an inherent special summon, whereas Saber Hole, you have to have a face-up X-Saber, but in testing, having a face-up Saber monster has proven to be not so difficult. So having the Saber Hole over the Blackhorn is, that's kind of why it's in here. But again, if it doesn't suit you, then I do recommend maybe trying the Blackhorn, because Blackhorn worked just as well for me when I was in the middle of testing this. So, anyways, things we did with the monsters: we dropped a Fall Troll, a Bogart Knight, the 2 Tengus, the Bear, the Erebellum, and the Striker. We added in Redox, we added in a 3rd Emmer's Blade, 2 Cranes, and 2 Maxis. Maxi's just really a good card right now. I think pretty much most of the decks that I've seen being played right now are maining like anywhere between like 2 and 3 Maxis or none at all. But it's mostly 2 or 3. Good for like the whole E-Dragon matchup. It's going to be decent against the Madolche matchup, as well as if you want to go there, there's artifacts. And there's just like a whole bunch of crap that you can play this card against. Room is of course a little tight. I don't really like the idea of dropping much of anything else that we already have, just because everything else seems to fit fluidly, I guess is a good way to put that. But yeah, Crane, this opens up a lot of interesting things. It allows you to make Barkion, it allows you to make Solar Silver Mountain, Ghost Trick Alucard, or Zenmaines. Zenmaines is a good defensive card. Alucard's good to just get rid of back row, or like a face down monster that you know is going to be a threat, or something like maybe the Geargia matchup where you can just blow up their armor while it's face down, things like that. Solar Silver Mountain is very similar to Full Helm Knight. When it destroys a monster, it gets to bring something back. It also works well with Econ and Book of Moon in the same sense that Full Helm does. So it kind of helps you do some pretty stupid things. On top of that, Solar Silver Mountain helps you lock down cards, which is also good. So, I mean, but again, you can always bring back Full Helm Knight and then use it with Full Helm Knight to make your Barkion. So, I mean, it's pretty cool. And then I added in the 3rd Emmer's Blade. Emmer's Blade's always been a really, really good card for this deck. I never really enjoyed playing less than 3, and part of the reason for that is because you can use it defensively. Again, it can bring it out in defense if you want to. You can use it to bring out Bogart Knight if you already have another one. You can use it to make your rank 4 play a little easier, especially considering we dropped one of the Bogart Knights as well as one of the Fall Trolls. So, I mean, it just kind of helps speed up a lot of other things. It allows you to put out something, or not just put out something, but keep something onto the board, at least until your next turn, unless your opponent just goes big eye, takes it, and just says, no, you're not doing anything, or something stupid like that. But, of course, it's very situational. So, I mean, well, by situational, I mean it's not going to happen to you every single game, so you can't just be like, oh, well, might as well play 2 then. No. It's a good card to play as a defensive card, as well as keeping something on board for your next turn to drop a Fall Troll or make a Synchro play or even an Exceed play. So having 3 Emmer's Blade, in my opinion, is something that the deck really needs. Excuse me. Spells, we dropped 1 MST and the 3 Fire Formation 10 keys, and we ended up adding in quite a few things, kind of, sort of. We added in the Reinforcement of the Army, the Pot of Dualities. We added in the Forbidden Lance and the Enemy Controller. Enemy Controller, I kind of already explained this when I was mentioning Soul Silver Mountain and Crane and all that. It plays well with Full Helm Knight and Soul Silver Mountain. It also plays well in the sense that you can tribute off Dark Soul, take one of your opponent's monsters to interrupt their play. Like if they put out a 2nd rank or level 7, like an E-Dragon or something, and they're planning to make something rank 7, you can take their monster, prevent them from doing so, and replace the Dark Soul you tributed to, you just like, okay, whatever. But yeah, it's just overall a decent card for this deck. I really wouldn't play it at more than like 1, at least at this point, because I mean, I don't think that there's very many matchups where you can actually run things over with the Full Helm Knight or the Soul Silver Mountain, or at least not with the help of Enemy Controller. I mean, you can still kill things with like Full Helm Knight and Soul Silver Mountain. It's just like some things, like the odds of you drawing this whenever you have one of these, or the Soul Silver Mountain, and being able to attack over something, it's not as likely as you might think it seems. So I mean, like, you can always kind of consider the Book of Moon as like a second version of enemy controller in that sense, but enemy controller also helps disrupt some of your opponent's plays by attributing something like Dark Soul. So I mean, it's just good for that. I mean, if for some reason Book of Moon was banned or something, then yeah, you would probably play a second enemy controller, but with Book of Moon still around, it's just good as a one-of. Duality, this card's really good for this deck, in my opinion. You can set Dark Soul turn 1, you can set Emmer's Blade, you can set Poshul, you can normal summon Full Helm Knight and stop one of their attacks, things like that. You always have something to do, even under Duality. It allows you to get down to key cards that you may or may not need, key cards that you may need or cards that you can see yourself needing in a later turn. Things like maybe Dark Hole, you could take Breakthrough, you could take Poshul to set it as a defensive card if you're in a tight spot. You can take anything you really find yourself needing. So I mean, it's just really something that I think the deck should be playing, but playing it as a 3-of seems kind of dead, and playing it as 1 just doesn't seem like it's good enough. So putting it at 2 was, you know, a thing. Traps, we dropped 2 Gundam's Emergency Calls, we dropped the 2 Mirror Forces, and I think that was about all we really dropped. I know that we added in the 2 Breakthroughs, this, and I think we dropped like one of the traps that you had before. Let's see here. Yeah, I only added in 3 traps. I think we added like one of the traps that we took out into one of the spells or something kind of thing, like, you know, when you're counting the cards. Yeah, that or the monsters, one of the 2. I don't really remember. But yeah, I know that we added in the Breakthroughs in the Saber Hole, and I kind of already explained Saber Hole in the sense that you could play it back and forth between either Blackhorn or Saber Hole, whichever one plays better for you. Like I said, Gundam Z-Call and Saber Hole, I'm still playing around with to see which one's better, whether it's like Blackhorn, even Trap Tricks or Trap Hole Nightmare. That's another thing that you could consider playing. And then Gundam Z-Call with Soul Charge. So I mean, there's a lot of things you can still play around with here. But yeah, I kind of already explained those. This, I don't know if I need to explain too much. Evil Swarms, from what I've been informed of, are seeing a little bit more play due to Soul Charge's release. There's always that opportunity or chance that you're going to be running into them. And this deck does play a lot of, you know, 5 or highers. So, I mean, that's kind of a thing. On top of that, it's really good for a lot of other things, especially the fact that you can use it more than once in a single game, of course. And by that, I mean, like, each copy more than once. Banishing it from your graveyard after you've already used it, things like that. On top of that, it's really good against the artifact matchup, like on their turn, or not on their turn, but on your turn when they like summon Moral Attack, you can banish it from your graveyard if you've already used it, or you can activate it on your turn to negate their effect. You know, just a whole bunch of retarded crap with Breakthrough. In my opinion, Breakthrough is really, really good right now. So yeah, don't know if I really need to explain it all that much, or further anyways. For the extra deck, we dropped Gundams, Mistworm, Crimson Blader, Black Rose, Gaia Knight, and Tiger King. We ended up adding in Leo, Colossal Fighter, Zenmain, Alucard, Soul Silver Mountain, and Catastor. Leo, you are playing Redox now, which means you can use it with Full Helm Knight to make, you know, Leo. Leo is kind of a very difficult card to get around because, you know, can't be targeted. On top of that, it's 3100, so it gets over a lot of things. So it's just kind of just good to have. So I don't know if I need to explain Leo too much. I mean, it's just overall a really disgustingly good card. Next thing we added was Colossal Fighter. I was kind of up there about what the second level 8 synchro actually should be, and I still kind of am. Originally I wanted to put Stardust in, but I, like, outside of like a couple matchups, I don't really see Stardust being too good. And Colossal Fighter is kind of that thing that's like, well, okay, if you happen to get over it, you can just keep bringing it back. Not to mention you play the Full Helm Knights, the Poshuls, you know, and all that other crap to increase its attack by 100 for each warrior. So I mean, it can be pretty big as well. So for the time being, I've been playing with Colossal Fighter, and it's actually been playing really well. Again, you could do Stardust, you could even do something like Thought Ruler or something if, you know, if that's your preference, I guess. But Colossal's been playing pretty well for me. So I don't know. That's kind of just the way things are working at the moment. Like I said, it's kind of up there. You could probably swap it out with Stardust if you feel like, you know, anything destructive is going to disrupt you more than, you know, you think it will. Meaning, like, if you're afraid they're going to MST everything, or if they're going to full house for some reason, or, you know, something weird like that. I don't know. So yeah, Catastor, we added an excellent rank 5, level 5 synchro. Really don't know if I have to explain the fact that this card's an extremely good card. So yeah, I did keep the rank 4s in, even despite the fact that we put Bogart 92. The reason for this is just because there will be those times when you probably need them, and I've actually had to drop Silent. I've actually dropped Silent Honor a couple times. I played tested against E-Dragons a few times, and I took Title one game, and I think I took Tempest another game, as well as I think a Big Eye later on in like another game after that or something. They're still useful. I still managed to pull them out. It's not that hard. This and your fall trolls and being able to search them out with this and this, it's not hard to get them both out. Soul Silver Mountain, I've already kind of explained this. Alucard, just again, kind of good for getting rid of back row if you have a way of making a play, or you know, just getting rid of like a face down Geargy Armor or something else that plays a lot of set cards, outside of course the artifact matchup. But you know, and then Zen means it's just overall a really good defensive card. And there's a kid outside screaming. Great. So yeah, I don't know if there's anything else I really need to explain. If you have any more questions, feel free to leave them, you know, in the comment section below. If you want a deck to be fixed, don't forget that you have to message it here on the No Limit YouTube. Yeah, I hope the fixes work for DarkAngel9779, and I hope the deck plays well for anyone that decides to play this build as well. So yeah, don't forget to rate, comment, subscribe if you haven't already, and until next time, this is Team709 signing out.